Hi everybody, this is Brian Koo with another ROK video. Every great Lost Kingdom has its down moments. It wouldn't be a great war if it didn't have some lows to go along with the highs. At this point in the KvK, we've been defending this zone for a week straight against 4 enemy kingdoms. And it was starting to wear us out. Or at least it was wearing me out. The day before, I had barely logged into the game, and I was in bed for more than 12 hours, sleeping, and then just laying there, thinking to myself that I would rather sit here in the darkness, doing nothing and thinking nothing, than log into the game and deal with whatever was there on the screen. And who can blame me, really? Because when I did log in, I was confronted with the increasingly familiar sight of our enemies in 2056 flooding the open field, surrounding our forts, getting a good trade on their rallies, and burning our forts yet again. At this moment, I was the only leader online to organize our resistance and motivate people to put up a good fight. It was not a position I wanted to be in, but sometimes you find yourself there and you do the best you can, for better or for worse. As it turned out, enemies slow burning our forts was the least of our worries on this very early morning. Because another enemy, Kingdom 1651, was making a concerted effort to break out of their start zone. They had already put up one flag and were halfway through burning our first layer of flags. I was the first person to teleport down here. I put garrisons in both of the flags, extinguished them, and encouraged a ragtag group of graveyard shift warriors to teleport in, and we were going to do our best to prevent this breakout attempt from succeeding. Now, I cannot understate how useful it is for a leader to have garrison commanders. And in my case, I actually have 4 viable garrison commanders. And so once I saw this happening, I could just teleport down here immediately and set up a basic defense, put a viable garrison in, set markers, and asked people to join me. There was no friction of needing to message people, asking them, hey, are you online? Can you port here? Can you put a garrison in this flag? That slows down an operation a lot. But in this case, we just got it going right away. And they tested us very quickly off the bat with this Gilga Nebu rally. My Xeno garrison is not great. I'm not an infantry player. The gear is just okay. I probably had 1 or 2 legendary pieces, but the rest is just purple infantry gear. And the Gilga Nebu has a chance to do very well against this garrison. But people were doing a good job of keeping the flag full, and we had enough of an open field to block any reinforcements from getting through. We actually just straight up deterred the reinforcements from even trying to join the rally. And so this defense was underway. As much as we were tired, sometimes the, passion for the game just takes over. And even if you're not feeling it, you just work with what you have, and there's just a pride to it. If they broke out here, it wouldn't have changed the outcome of the KvK, but we'd kept them locked in for a week straight. And it was the kind of thing where if you're going to eventually break out, you're going to have to earn it. We're not just going to let you idle burn us out after we've been working this hard to keep you contained. They threw a XY Nevsky rally at us next. This was easily swarmable. And so we were off to a decent start here. We were getting good trades. And my philosophy as a leader is really to create a blank canvas on which players can have a good time and find success. So I provide good garrisons. I give clear instructions in terms of putting markers on the flags and linking in chat when a fight is happening. And then from there, you just hope that players take the opportunity, the clear opportunity given to them, and, stay online, stay engaged, fight in the open field while also reinforcing. And this was all happening right against that backdrop where just one day earlier, I was totally burnt out and really not wanting to play this game anymore. I'm an older gamer. There are people in this alliance who are, half my age or less. I've been a hardcore gamer basically my entire life. I was a semi-professional Quake 3 player more than 20 years ago. I'm one of the oldest people alive to have won money at esports, but all that money that I won was, 2 decades ago. And these long wars and Rise of Kingdoms, they wear me out. I get mentally drained before they're over. And then there's also leaders in our alliance, like our R5 Addy, who is able to maintain a high energy level through the entire KvK. While I was, regressing as the days went on, Addy was putting together spreadsheets showing how many kills and how many deads we had taken compared to our allies. Once we get into Kingsland, he's going to start doing diplomacy with all the other kingdoms, trying to get our allies really ample rewards for multiple Ruined Crusader Fortress captures, so that we in turn can get the star. And in this KvK, what was also happening was that other leaders were stepping up. Other players had very strong garrisons. Other players were just getting more passionate about this game. And as a result, taking on more of that leadership responsibility. And because I slept through some of the most challenging enemy uptime moments where some very tough decisions ended up being made by other people, there had not been a time in this KvK where I was able to demonstrate my value as a leader. And as the sensitive observer of vibes that I am, it seemed to me that other leaders were thinking amongst themselves that we might not be able to count on this fool the way we used to. Which for me was a hard thing to reconcile, being that I've been this successful hardcore gamer for so long, and being that in recent years I've devoted so much time and energy to this game in particular. And here I was seeing others surpass me in talent and output in a way that I couldn't deny, in a way that I had to just accept that I wasn't the player that I used to be. There were times in this battle where we pushed the enemy all the way back to their pass. The inherent advantage we had here was that our cities were right next to the fight, whereas 1651 cities were on the other side of the pass, and they had to walk a long way to get to the fight. So all we had to do to win was take care of the open field, whereas the enemy had to both win the open field and have successful rallies. And I did want to get this enemy flag down. So I set a rally on it myself. The rally was going so poorly that I had to check and make sure I had gear on. The issue here was that, one, we accidentally put infantry in the rally, and two, 1651 did have a strong Xenoflav garrison. So this back and forth fight continued to swing in one favor or another. And just as quickly as we took control of the open field, the enemy brought an even larger murder ball out. And what became clear is that this was a very serious, organized, scheduled attack by our opponents. not just by 1651, but by 2056 as well. And almost out of the blue, we saw the enemy marching down to this spot and also sending taxi rallies down here. We spotted them very quickly, and we instantly changed directions and had our entire army attack the 2056 forces that were trying to gather. This was something that happened so quickly that I only started recording halfway through. But you can see how serious the enemy was here, where it was not one but two kingdoms that were trying to make this breakout happen. This was not the first time these two kingdoms had scheduled something together, but it was a very serious attempt they were making that was denied only because we teleported down here. We had early success that motivated everyone to keep playing. And the presence of those early cities and the ongoing fights then motivated others to teleport later. Where, as the enemy was building up a larger and larger army, we were also building something larger here, and ultimately rejecting everything they aspired to do. So even though I had not made a real imprint on this KvK before this moment, there was a time where I was able to show my value.
Sitting lonely in my room again, trying to find the words to say, but nothing comes out. I am looking for the better days, seem like they just stay away whenever I try. There's so many things that I keep in my mind. My friends keep me out and it hurts every time. With all the emotions I built up inside, oh why can't I? Will someone look for me if I disappear? No matter how much that I scream, nobody hears. But I see the light from far away, it's down the line. Maybe I should not give up without a fight, 'cause there will be a time. Oh, 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 oh. There will be a time. Oh, 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 oh. There will be a time. Sitting lonely in my room again, acting like I'm innocent. Why do I try? 'Cause now I'm feeling like a fool again, thinking I can fool myself by telling me lies. When there's so many things that I keep in my mind, I hang around people I don't even like. If they can be happy and walk with a smile, oh why can't I? Will someone look for me if I disappear? No matter how much that I scream, nobody hears. But I see the light from far away, it's down the line. Maybe I should not give up without a fight, 'cause there will be a time. Oh, 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 oh. There will be a time. Oh, 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 oh. There will be nobody hears. But I see the light from far away, it's down the line. Maybe I should not give up without a fight, 'cause there will be a time.
If you've made it this far in the video, then I'm sure you're enjoying the content, and I would really appreciate it if you could throw a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. We've got one more video from this KvK coming up, and then we're going to move on to our latest Lost Kingdom, which I'm really excited to start talking about. I'm really excited to show you. As fun as this KvK was, and as good as the footage was from this one, our next KvK is even better, if you can believe that. We end up fighting a number of undefeated A kingdoms that are very good, and it is just a real test for both sides. I think both sides will end up saying that this is the best KvK they fought in. So I'm gonna pretty much sprint through the rest of this Strife of the Eight because I'm way behind on videos and I just want to get to the more recent stuff. I also want to acknowledge some of the people who really came through during this operation we're looking at today. That includes Clown, Prosglyph, John Wick, Naujin, Psy Angel, and my dear friend Sibeli. It's a leap of faith when you teleport to a undefended area that the enemy has surrounded, where your flags are burning, and you know at the beginning you're gonna take some bad trades and have a rough time of it. But they took that leap of faith with me, and we ended up putting up a defense that we can really be proud of, and we turned a downtime morning where we were inactive and demoralized into a downtime morning where we were winning an important battle and feeling much better about things. The other person I want to point out in this fight is a Korean player named Honey Bear. A lot of people know him as Pei, but I've always called him Honey Bear, and that's the best nickname that I've come up with in this game, so I'm gonna stick with it. He's the kind of player that if you play with him a lot, you'll recognize his name, but Korean characters are pretty hard to recognize if you're unfamiliar with them. He's out there right now. He's got kind of a zero and a line near the end of his name, and it's a very short, like, 2-character name. But Honey Bear, I just really liked the way he played this KvK. You know, his alliance was maybe not at their best state. He ended up playing in our alliance and fighting through our alliance quite a bit, but he was the #1 contributor in the KvK, and he was like an individual player who knew when the important fights were happening and had a knack for showing up for those important fights, and he was probably our most dominant open field player. And just even if the people around him were not like playing their best, he still managed to play his best. And you know, he will migrate to 1v after this KvK is over. He luckily and thankfully is still close to Kingdom 770, and you know, we will both miss him, but it's also nice to kind of immortalize his efforts in some of these videos. You're seeing now that we do eventually push the enemy back. We get a successful rally on this Xeno garrison. I wanted this thing burnt so bad that I, put my XY Nevsky on it for the swarm. And this was the victorious end to a very intense few hours. And we won. You know, we stopped the enemy dead in their tracks. It's all you can ask for. And until next time, I will see you all on the flip side.